There were three extremely ruthless leaders in history who single-handedly brought the death of millions of people. Stalin, who wanted to turn the Soviet Union into a super-state. Hitler, who wanted to purge the world of the existence of Jews, and Mao, who is the principal architect of the modern-day China. All of these people shared one common trait, and it was the insatiable urge to rise to the very top. They wanted to show to the world that they were the best, regardless of the consequences. In fact, their plans to conquer the world cost many people their lives. Joseph Stalin was the General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union from 1922 to 1952. He was one of the most cold-blooded leaders in the history. To name a few of his murders, he ordered for the Great Purge to eradicate wealthy peasants and officials who disagreed with his ruthless ways. Then he forced the remainder of those who disagreed with him into forced labor camps known as gulags, in which the prisoners had to work in inhumane conditions. He was also responsible for the Ukrainian famine, also known as Holodomor, during which he intentionally caused 4 million people to starve to death, simply because they refused to give their lands to him. Before having access to the Eastern European archives, historians thought that Stalin caused the death of approximately 20 million people with his brutal actions, but further studies revealed that the total number of non-combatants who were killed during his reign of terror are somewhere around 6 to 9 million. Adolf Hitler, who was also active around the same time as Stalin, wanted to conquer the entire continent of Europe for the benefit of the so-called Aryan race. His far-fetched ideals were the main reason why the Second World War happened, and his main victims included Jews who were simply murdered for their religious beliefs. Hitler was the one behind the Holocaust, during which millions of Jews throughout Europe were killed in concentration camps like Auschwitz. Overall, the Nazis under his rule are estimated to have killed 12 million non-combatants throughout the duration of the Second World War. Finally, there is Mao Zedong, the man who followed similar ideas as Stalin and chose him as the perfect role model for himself. Mao felt overshadowed by the advancement of the Communist Soviet Union under Nikita Khrushchev's rule and planned to turn China into the world's leading communist nation using the campaign titled Great Leap Forward. As a part of his program, farmers' properties were nationalized and they were forced to live in communes with shared resources. Mao forced the farmers and the local officials to produce an unrealistic amount of grains, and severe punishment awaited those who couldn't comply. The falsified statistics provided by the officials forced the farmers to ship their harvests out to the state, and an equally deluded plan to produce steel out of iron caused the farmers to melt down their equipment in order to produce steel to be spared of Mao's rage. As a result, the farmers lost their food and tools, and a famine followed. It is estimated that somewhere around 20 to 40 million people died during this famine, a number far greater than Stalin's or Hitler's. Now the question is, does killing less people lighten the weight of these dictators' crimes? Although Mao's actions resulted in the death of tens of millions of people, that does not mean that Hitler or Stalin were the better dictators. Stalin deliberately caused millions of innocent farmers to starve, and Hitler killed Jews due to strong anti-Semitic feelings. The undeniable fact remains that all three of them were responsible for the death of millions of innocents.